Aloha, what is really good, my dudes? Today is September 16, 2019, and we got another RuneScape update for y'all. Today we see the changes to the player-owned farm as well as an update to the Bank Placeholder Beta. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Let's go.
Cats is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, to get started we have the player-owned farm changes. I have talked about this in a previous video last week. So if you want to go into further detail, I suggest checking out that video. But to sum things up, here is what you can expect changed with the player-owned farm. The XP has been cut in half, and XP is now based on your animal's health and happiness. Breeding outside of the main breeding pen has been reduced. The amount the collector farmhand can hold has been reduced. They've increased the rate at which animals eat food. However, they have increased the benefits of shiny animals and increased the hereditary of your animals, as well as increased the value of the shiny animals themselves. Again, I'm not going to go into major detail because I just did an entire video going into as much as I could about this update. So if you really want to look into it, I suggest again going to that video. Next up, we have the bank placeholders and improvements. Now this is going to launch tomorrow, Tuesday, September 17th, if all goes to plan. And we should expect the main full update to appear at the end of the month. So what you can expect tomorrow is pretty much near complete, but that doesn't mean that they don't want you to play through it and give your thoughts on Discord, Twitter, Reddit, official forums, etc. Give your feedback to tweak those finer and subtler details. So that's pretty much it. Again, be on the lookout for that tomorrow. With that, we're going to switch on over to the patch notes and see exactly what's been changed there. So let's go ahead and check it out. Combat changes. The Troll Chuckers, Shamans, and Brutes in Borthorpe Cave all now have equal chance to drop charms, and therefore strange and gold rocks, but only when you've unlocked the Taverley Path book or have a skill total of 250 or greater. An issue where some of the cursed prayers would stall the player and fail to initiate a Telos encounter has been fixed. Players can now correctly unlock the Perdita pet after killing Solak 1,000 times. Increased Evil Bob stat draining effects in Shadow World, so they are a bit more worth avoiding. Moving on, numerous typos have been fixed throughout the game. Going on to graphical changes, the click box for the Ogre Cook has been adjusted to better fit his model. Added a mini/world map icon to the prayer altar in the Berthorpe Chapel. Corrected an issue where Xenia was blocking the doorway through Blood Pact if you left the catacombs earlier than intended. Environment lighting no longer changes suddenly when climbing up the all-fired up beacon east of the Berthorpe Imperial Guard camp. Remove the zone of map blocking west of some crates south of the Taverley Windmill. Added map blocking to a crate south of the Taverley Windmill. Smooth height map in the southwest corner of Hild's house in Berthorpe to resolve a gap in the flooring. Added map blocking to the end supports of the bridge in Taverley. White and shaggy sheep in Edgeville that looked yellow are now white and fluffy. Slightly increased the death animation of cows so they now fade out once dying. Flared cocktail rest animation no longer shows a glowing orb when used alongside the noxious staff. Visual effects from your weapons no longer persist while resting with the love me not animation activated. Remove dual arena restriction from a tile outside of dual arena. The inventory icon for the amulets obtained from the demons in the underground pass quest have their inventory icons adjusted so they are now center. The water fountain outside the Legends Guild now has an updated animation. Siphoning a manifest knowledge while tuning a harp will now stop the tuning animation correctly. Black crystals surrounding a tree in Draenor Village have been removed. A graphical issue with the water during the Swansong quest has been fixed. Objects dropped on certain spots in Gemstone Dragon Cave by the exit will no longer float. Fix some shadow flickering on the second floor of the Stronghold of Security. Dropping an object on the center of the Cruis Elder Tree no longer causes it to float. Switching Family Crest Gauntlets from the worn right-click menu no longer deactivates the player's cosmetic overrides. Moving on to some quest fixes, corrected an issue with the Tale of Two Cats quest where the player was teleported to the previous position of Unferth's house. The Ram Skull Helm and the Bone Sack no longer pop out of its container in the quest complete screen of the Odd Old Man's Wish List. Fixed an issue where it was not possible to progress past first room during World Wakes. Players who experience this issue need to investigate any of the artifacts to progress through the section. Activate quest marker location for Elemental Workshop 2 has been corrected. The Back to the Freezer quest overview interface has been updated to include the required energies. The quest trial for the Back to the Freezer will now lead to Chuck. Corrected the audio when completing the Curse of the Blackstone quest. You will now be able to access Gerald's chest after completing Dishonor Among Thieves. Moving on to some other fixes. The September raffle bond item is no longer visible in the bond interface if you're using Iron Man accounts. The broadcast message for completing the Anachronia base camp will no longer trigger when building bait boxes, as they're no longer a requirement for the achievement. Updated the September raffle bond item description in order to clarify its functionality. It now states that players can claim any missed daily tickets. Updated Balthazar's dialogue in order to clarify the functionality of the September raffle bond item. Players will now be able to claim the Tranwind Quiver 4 from Ellen in Prifdinnis. Updated the amount of prizes that can be obtained during the September raffle. Added a login check to give players 10 raffle tickets. Legiones have been added to the Slayer skill guide. Scenery and patrols on the top of Birthright Castle has been adjusted so that the archers follow patrol routes again. The NPC contact Lunar Spell has been updated its address book and can now find Turiel. When checking charges on the game necklace C, it will now show the amount of charges left. Simona will no longer give information about spiritual ranges for Avanti Slayer tasks. Fixed an issue that was preventing an elder tree from being regrown with magic means. Adding farm animals to a Beast of Burden will no longer revert them to having a default name and traits. Custom fitting Masterwork armor will no longer occasionally cause a disconnection. Dwarven tools with 1 charge left now correctly use the plural charge when checking charges. The Spring Cleaner now displays the information for Willow Bows when highlighted. Fixed some inconsistencies with mining XP gain on Miscellanea. The Giant Ant Familiar now correctly gives 50% chance to gather an extra item when harvesting trees and patches. The Giant Ant Familiar ability now triggers when using Patch Bombs or the Farming Skill Cape perk, and now states how many extra resources were obtained when using those 2 items. Patch Bombs will now work with Strange Rocks, Skill Pits, and Farming Urns. Remove the short delay when checking berry bushes. The Perfect Juju Potion now gives Harmony Moss when using the Patch Bombs and the Farming Skill Cape. Right-clicking on the Prefer list within the Slayer Rewards interface will now show Remove Preferences rather than allow this task. The Ring of Coins can no longer be used inside Castle Wars. The Magic Secateur Harvesting Boost is now consistent for Fellstock and Bloodweed herbs, resulting in slightly higher quantities of Fellstock and Bloodweed being harvested for a farming patch when Magic Secateurs are being used. For mobile, they fixed the overlap issue observed in the Skills tab when examining other players. Fixed an issue that had removed the skill icon for Sajobo's contract interface on Wyco. Fixed an issue with text colors in the achievement window being hard to differentiate. Corrected a client crash from rapidly selecting and clearing achievement paths. Prevented advancing the cooking step from the cooking meats on the range path when the cooking fish on a fire Berthorpe path is selected, and vice versa. Improved performance when advancing states during Tutorial Island. Corrected an issue that was preventing guidance hint trails, bringing interface panels to front, and interface highlighting on path achievements from occurring simultaneously. And finally, fixed an issue with the Worn Equipment interface that was causing the slot indicator to be offset when an equipment slot was empty. That is it for your patch notes. Link to everything discussed in this video will be down in the description below. If you want to head over there and check it out for yourself, go on and do so. With that, I'm going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I am out. Aloha.